Josh, and today I want to talk about UIs in Unity. And I'm going to go through a little bit of a challenge to see if I can create a UI that's comparable to something I would create in another tool. So let's see what I'm talking about. Okay, so here I've got a little application written in UWP, and I'll just run it, show you what I'm talking about. And really concentrating on this little bit over here on the left-hand side. So what we've got here is a little kind of panel, and we've got some text in it and some vertical buttons, a little toggle button, and we've got some horizontal content. So this is what I want to try and recreate in Unity. So let's just have a quick peek at the code. So let's come in here, move the designer out of the way. Okay, so basically the important bit here is in UWP you've got a concept of a vertical stack panel, and then we've got a text block, and then we've got a horizontal stack panel, and in the horizontal stack panel got a few buttons and some text, and after it we've got a button, a toggle box, and another button. So let's see how we're going to go about recreating that. So I'll just move it off the screen and into Unity now. So we'll create a little UI canvas. He says somehow create UI canvas. That's cool. We're in 2D mode already. So what I want is a vertical, some sort of vertical alignment control. So what we'll start with is a little panel, and we'll call this panel vertical. And let's just resize that slightly. So we'll move that over, and we'll maybe align that to the left, like so. Okay, let's just change its width slightly. Okay, and in order for it to be align things vertically, we need to use a special component called a vertical layout group. Now, this has got some options on here, and to be honest, I don't really know what all these do, so this is going to be quite a challenge to get all this working. So let's come in here and put our first thing in there. Now the first thing in there, I'm just going to switch over. I can grab back my UWP app. Easy said than done. So the first thing we want is a text block, and we're going to put some text in it. Okay, so let's just do UI text element. Okay, some title text in here, and we'll leave the defaults alone. So wrap, truncate, all the usual stuff, usual suspects. And okay, so we notice first of all, the first thing I see in here is it has a width. So that's quite interesting, given that we've got a vertical stack panel on there, and we're forcing it to expand width and height, but it doesn't appear that the width has been expanded. Okay, let's see what happens. So we create another UI element. I think it was a stack panel, a horizontal stack panel. So I'll come in here, panel horizontal. Okay. And this is also going to use a special component called a horizontal layout group. Again, similar settings. I won't play with those just yet. And what we want in here is some buttons. So we create a button, and we'll give that the text of A. And then we'll duplicate that. Button, 3 buttons. So as you can see, they're stacking along here, but as you can also see, they don't seem to be taking any note of their container. So that's quite interesting in itself. So we create another UI element text that goes at the end. And what was the text we were using from the other one? Let's have a little look. Just grab hold of that. Okay. Keep it the same sort of demo. Come in Let's see. So the first challenge is, why isn't this coming inside of the parent? So let's have a look at the parent here. So parent panel has no width. So that's probably not a good thing. And we probably want to give it a height, say. So that's the width that we want there. And still it's outside of its container. So let's say that we want, take the expand off, and we want this to be in control of the width, I think. Okay, yeah, that's about right. So let's give the vertical panel a little bit more width, I think. And still, that hasn't moved. So that must mean that in the vertical panel, let's try and take control of the width. Okay, so now our horizontal panel has now gone to the width of its parent. So that's good. We've still got some weirdness going on here with the buttons. They're very tight. So let's go into here. And one thing we can do with Unity is we can add another layout component called a layout element. And here I want to say, let's see if we can give a minimum width. So on our button, if you take a look at the top here, you can see that width is grayed out. So we're not in control of our width. That must mean that our layout components have grabbed hold of the width. So we can't just come in here and change the width. But let's see if we can override it in here. Excellent, that looks good. So that's given us quite a big button on there. So call that 60, maybe 50, 40. Let's try 40. So I can take that, copy that component, put it onto here. So let's come over here, get some glare, paste as new, 40, paste as new, 40. So that looks quite good. The buttons are kind of in place. Looks about right. Not bad. So let's move on. Well, the height's again wrong. How can we get the height to work? Let's say that the horizontal panel is in control of the height. Okay. So the buttons have now lost control of the height. So can we do the same trick here with the height? Yes, we can. So let's try that then. 40. Okay. And we got some text. And seem to be aligning correctly. Let's try that. Let's just run that. Oh, all right. Input thing's broken. Let me just fix that. Try again. Okay, so we resize and that's not looking good. Why is that lost its anchor? So let's come back to the panel and it should be in the middle and stretched. Middle and stretched. That's right, isn't it? Okay, let's try that. No, why is it not anchoring? Okay, it's a mystery. So let's try not doing stretch. Let's try anchoring it. And still, no joy. So why is this not anchoring? Anchoring to the middle. should anchor. No. Oh, did it? It doesn't work as you're scrolling. Oh, that's an interesting note. You have to let it go. Live and learn, live and learn. Okay, so it seems to be working. That's not too bad. So what happens when we shrink this thing? Okay. Yeah, you'd think the text should survive a little bit longer. So let's have a look at that. Okay, just do best fit. Let's see how that works. So we move, scroll. Nope. It's not changing its size. Let's see if we can get that to work. So the text is set to truncate. That's probably correct. Best fit. Let's give it a smaller. Let's say just 4. And make that 20. Does that have any effect? So let's grab that again. No, still not changing the width. So what's going on here? So the little box around it is telling me that it obviously has dimensions. It doesn't have control over the dimensions. It's got best fit on. So why isn't that text resizing? It's got wrap on, it's got truncate on, best fit on. I mean, is it the minimum size? No. Okay. Not sure what's going on there. It seems to be slightly over the edge. Is it because the control's got the height? Let's take the height off a second. Okay, does this make any difference? No, it's still retaining that. So the panel's not in control of the height. Perhaps you should ask it to expand to its full height. Does that work? No, can't seem to get this to change. Let's stay off that for a second. Come back to that maybe. So the next thing I wanted to do was we want a couple of buttons in our vertical one. So back in here, UI button, and we're going to give this the text of vertical button. Okay, and again it's tiny because, well, I don't know why, because it's got no size. It's very weird, this stuff. No, that's the right side. We want the rectangle width. Oh, it's because I'm on the text. So we've got a height, but the width is garbled. So the vertical panel has control of our width. For some reason, it's not taken to note the fact of our content. Oh, this stuff is difficult. Okay, so add a layout element. Let's try a minimum width trick again. So 500, there we go. Cool. And then we can just duplicate that. Okay, so we've got our 2 buttons, but in the middle of those 2 buttons is actually a toggle. So we'll come in here, toggle. Okay, and that's in there. Ugh, why has it got a red tick in it? does that mean? Okay. Label. Let's just bring up UWP app again. Some big content in here. And let's put that in there. Okay. Not seeing any text. So perhaps we can just do our layout trick. Copy component. Okay, so we have a tiny bit of text in here, but I want us to expand with the width. So if I'm coming in here, I mean, that text is expanding. Ah, the text is changing. Oh, that's interesting. So the text is changing with the panel, but not the window. Yeah. Okay. But this text isn't. So this text needs to grow with the width of the panel, but we're not in control of the width. So that means that perhaps I don't want the width. I want you to expand the width of the children. So let's go back to the toggle. No. The toggle now, we have control over the width of the toggle. Oh, this stuff's odd. So it means we can just do that, I guess. Okay. But that. Yeah, that doesn't. So the content's no longer moving with the panel. This stuff is tricky. Okay. So what do we want to do here? It's not. That doesn't seem to be doing anything. Force expand. Let's just take this back off again. It's got the width. I want the panel. I've tried that. I've tried that. So yes, that's more like it. Now the buttons are too big. Why are the buttons big? Preferred width. Oh, yikes, what did I do then? Preferred width. So now we're stuck with really big buttons. I don't want really big buttons. And that toggle control is not showing anywhere near enough content. I can change the width. So if I give it a minimum width and then go to the label and say best fit, that's not too bad. So if I duplicate that now, put two of them in there. What have we done? Wrong place. Yeah, that's not too bad. What does it look like when the window resizes? Just a bit of height. Yeah, still not shrinking. Yeah, this window doesn't shrink. Tell you what, why don't I go to this panel just for now and say that this thing is stretch in all directions. There we go. So let's run this. Okay, now we can see things changing. So as the panel changes, oh, look how small that text went. That's what I asked it to do at number 2. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So we can go back to the text. I said, what was the minimum I said on that text? But it's not that text, is it? It's a horizontal text. Let's put that back up to, I don't know, 8. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's not too bad. All right. So, what to do with these? The button's gone off there. That's not quite what I want either. That's not too bad. Okay, let's sort these buttons out. How do we sort these buttons out? So we've got this bottom button here. Now we don't have control over the width. We have control over the height. We've lost control of the width because we want it to expand, and we want the control to, the outer control, vertical control, to ensure that it stays with it. Because we want these toggles to move. So what we could do is we could come in here and create a panel. I'll call it panel button container. And I'll stick this button into it. Now the panel itself has a width but no height. So let's give it a height. Okay. And the button is, we now have control over the width. So we can just say 100, height 30, fine. Not sure why it's flying around in the air there. Let's just drag it back to reality. Okay, and then we can then change the height of this. Oh, it's gone off the edge. Oh, I've forgotten to let go again. Keep falling for that. Okay. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, let's do it. So I'll just duplicate that one, get rid of this button, move this one above the toggles. Okay. So I think, how close are we now? So our text is shrinking in here, which is pretty good. Growing. It's not growing wide. It's not growing wide. Okay. So what's going on here? We've got control of the height. We've got control of the width. But the width isn't growing. Oh man. So perhaps we need to do the same thing. There we go. So we do the same thing here, expand the width. So now we've got the text expanding into the finished area. Yeah, like it was before. But now the buttons are growing. I don't want the buttons to grow. So what have we got on the buttons? We've got a minimum. Can we set a preferred width? Let's try that. Still too big. That's way too big. Nah, it's just been ignored. Okay. All right, perhaps we can do the same panel trick again. So go to the panel, panel button container again. And then we're going to put all three of these buttons inside of it. And the buttons have gone mad. Where have the buttons gone? Okay. What? The panel hasn't got a height again. Okay, make it 60. And we need to put it in front of the text. Better. And now the buttons alignment is all over the place. So bring those back roughly there. Okay, we've now got control over the buttons. So 60, 60, 60. Okay. And the layout. Let's just do that by eye for the time being. Okay. Now, the trouble is this panel, we don't have control of its width. So we're going to end up with a big space. So there it looks cool. Oh, no. That's ugly. We need to get control over those buttons. Okay, so let's try another technique. We could go for a grid layout group in this one. Whoa. Okay, so let's arrange the buttons in a grid. And we can give it a constraint and say we want 3 columns. Good. And there should be grid size somewhere. Grid size. Let's make that 60 by 60. Cool. And yeah. Okay, that looks good, but we've still got this gap. So what is going on here? Let's try that. Oh, yes. I think, have we done it? I think that is pretty much the UI that I want. So let's just add some extra text to toggle. Let's just check that out. Blah, blah. Hello. Another line. Some extra text. So let's see what happens. Yeah, that's just shrinking. That looks good. Yeah. So as we shrink there, we start to lose some of the elements. We lost a toggle. No. Thought I had 3 toggles. No, that's good. So we can shrink up quite well. We lose it there. You've got to have some minimum height. Operable height. It would be nice if that kicked over, I guess. We could do something with a grid maybe to kick that down, but I think actually that's pretty much what I wanted. So I think I'm going to leave it there for this little challenge. I think I've pretty much got the UI that I wanted, copying it from the UWP app. And as you can see, it's not been an easy route for me. If you've got any ideas about how I can improve this method of working, then please do let me know. But hopefully some of that will give you some ideas about how to do your own UIs. Okay, thanks.